Meeting going. I'd call up to order the Tuesday, April 21st meeting for the Natrona County Board of County Commissioners. May I get a roll call?
Commissioner Coates?
Here.
Commissioner Laird?
Present.
Commissioner Nick Lason?
Here.
Commissioner North?
Here.
Chairman Milne?
Here. Stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Alrighty, looks like Natrona County Library. We're ready for you. Sort of, not really. Good afternoon. If you could introduce yourselves and what do you want to talk to us about today?
My name is Chris Mullen. I'm the current president of the Board of Trustees for the County Library.
I'm Kathy Carr. I'm the Vice President of the Board of Trustees.
Welcome. Floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time. We, at your request last fall, had a facilities assessment at the library. And I think the last time we spoke before the commission, we hadn't actually gotten a copy yet. So we thought we'd take our 20 minutes today and discuss what this assessment is from our perspective and the county's perspective, because there are some issues. And so we had a chance to fully review the assessment that was done last September, and a couple of things that were not quite right in there. That first off was the age of the building. The report showed that the building was actually done in 1972. We have portions of the building, the library, that goes all the way back to 1910. And in 1925, our first renovation was done. Approximately half the building we have today is from that 1925 renovation. Then 1953, I'm sorry, the second edition was in 53, about half of it was from 53. So instead of looking at something that's 50 years old, we're really looking at something that's 70 years old. And granted, it's starting to feel some of its age. And that is being reflected in the facilities report. In the architectural issues that were brought up in the report, there were some things that they described as fair, and typically those have been managed by the library and our maintenance staff. And if you have any questions for me at any time, or the board, our entire board is here, as well as Lisa, our director, and our facilities manager, Fred Parsons. So we have been kind of band-aiding this facility now for decades. And when something goes wrong, we try and fix it to the best of our ability. As you know, we don't budget for the facility. We budget for staff and some of our services. But the facility really is kind of the county's responsibility. So when something goes wrong major, that's on all of us to try and get it fixed. The facilities condition assessment, the report that was done, had 105 separate line items that they reviewed. And each was given a grade from failed to poor to fair to good to excellent. Typically excellent was something that has been fixed within the last year or two. good is satisfactory and working as is. Poor, fair is showing signs of wear, but is currently working, but the clock is ticking before something fails. Poor is a component or system is significantly aged, flawed, or intermittently functioning. So things are starting to break down. And then failed, obviously that no longer serves its purpose. In the report, out of those 105, only one thing failed, and that was our restrooms. We have some major issues with our restrooms. In poor, the poor category, there are 5 items listed under poor, and as I'll discuss here shortly, those have been prioritized by Garrett and Fred, our maintenance experts, with regard to what needs to be fixed and what needs to be fixed now. The majority of the condition report is fair, with 8 good and 4 excellent. So we're doing the best we can to maintain the facility for the county and the public. The report then talks about the immediate needs of, I've got talking points, and I do have copies of this if anybody wants. But in the report, they describe what they call the immediate needs, which is either the failed or the poor. They list things in their order. We've had a chance to look at it and have reprioritized some of the issues based on day-to-day knowledge of what is going on within the facility. So I'll list the first 6, which is the building exterior. A lot of our brick and mortar is showing signs of aging. The mortar is actually crumbling in places. The roof, hatches, and the roof as a whole is, it's a flat roof, and flat roofs are notorious for leakage and issues. Half of the roof has been dealt with and fixed, but the other half is got some issues as well. Restrooms, they had that as number 3. That's our number 1. We've had some major issues already. And as soon as we start digging into the walls, we find more issues going on. And at some point, our restrooms, and unfortunately, they're stacked between the first floor, right inside the parking lot doors, and the second floor. You have to deal with those 2 restrooms together when it comes to plumbing issues and other issues with the drywall and other issues with the restrooms. Common areas, lifts. I think you're all aware that we have a mechanical lift to get to the teen zone. That has been fixed. Since last September, we got a grant to fix that, and that is now functional and no longer a concern. 2 electrical issues that were identified, one in a distribution panel, one in a switchboard. These were the immediate needs in the report. Our maintenance manager, Fred Parsons, has added a couple more because he feels they're higher priority. The elevator system in the library. There's 1 elevator, and it is definitely showing signs of wear. It's actually been breaking down more recently than we would like it. And of course, that's the only way to access the second floor if you cannot take stairs, and the adult areas and reference areas upstairs. That elevator is our number 3 priority right now, and unfortunately that would probably be an entire replacement of that elevator system. HVAC units are our number 2 priority. Some of it has been maintained, but again, it's beyond its functional life, and we are waiting for something to happen. And as you know, in the summer and in the winter, those are high priority items to keep our doors open. And the last thing that wasn't addressed in the immediate needs in the report was the parking lot. We feel we have a relatively small parking lot to serve the community, and so we try and maintain it as best as possible. And so we probably need to be putting down a layer or resurfacing something in that fairly soon to keep its integrity and allow us to utilize our entire parking lot. The last thing that I really want to talk about is in the report, what they itemize or list as system expenditure forecasts. And this is the scary part. In the next 1 to 2 years, they're projecting in the report that we could be spending $3.4 million on the facility to keep it up and running. In years 3 to 5, they expect another $7.4 million. 6 to 10, 1.9 million, and 11 to 20, another 6.9. So in the next 20 years, they're projecting that we'll be expending close to $20 million on this facility. And I have to admit that, you know, this is one of the main reasons why we were first looking at a new library facility in the early 2000s. Is it smart, wise to spend money on this, keeping it up, or should we be working with the commission and the trustees and the community to try and get a new library built? So that's really what I wanted to digest the report and what we feel is important, not only the priorities, what needs to be done in the next year or so, but ultimately what the expenditures could be if we just kind of ride this facility the way it's aging right now. So with that, I tried to leave about 5 minutes for questions if you have any for us. And again, Lisa and Fred are here, or any of the board.
I appreciate being mindful of the time. Any questions? Commissioner Laird. There goes your time.
And he's being nice about it. You know, I drive by the lot where you want to build a new library, and I think it's a great venue, a great place. And this has nothing to do with anything other than my final comment. I would like to see a big, huge billboard there with what this new library would look like if we build it, so the whole community could see that. Because my belief is you've got to convince the community to do this. I don't think we have the money to do it. And I can tell you every one of these buildings fits the mold that you just you know, we're having to put around $1 million in 2 elevators in the courthouse across the street. These things aren't cheap. We had to redo all of the bathrooms out at the Central Wyoming Fair and Rodeo. So the whole county's getting old, except of course the commission here, you know, and the library board. But I just don't feel like a really good, hard basketball press on the public has ever really been done. I know you guys have done that, you've done advertising, you've worked it out, but a library is an important thing for a community, in my opinion. Personally, I would like to see a really nice new library. I've been in several of them, I've looked them over, and it'd be a great thing for this town. But knowing that you've got a building that could absorb $20 million, I don't even know where that money would come from. Kathy's running for commissioner. She'll find out here if she gets elected. But I'd really like to see you put on one big, giant, first class presentation to the public. Because there's a lot of people that are behind the library. It's an important thing for the community. But I don't see it unless the public endorses it and they're willing to pay for it. That's my own personal opinion. I know these guys all have their own opinions. But it just seemed to me, I'd like to see a billboard down there on that lot that would, if somebody drove by it, they say, God, that's really good looking. I'd vote for that. It's like things get lost in the laundry around here. But every building we have has problems because they're old.
No, I appreciate that. And of course, our priority does not assume that our priorities are the commission's top priorities. You manage all of the buildings and we appreciate that. But we thought it was, as Board of Trustees, important for us to bring this back in front of you and let you know. And I appreciate what you're saying. I mean,
Commissioner Nick Lason.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. President, Madam Vice President, thanks for being here today. We, as a commission, are supportive of the library, maybe not as much as you wish, but, you know, we do have a lot of financial realities that drive the truck a lot. So we're coming into a budget session, and it seems to me that, you know, if you had numbers for your top priority restrooms, I'd like to see them. You know, you'll have your operating budget, but you know, if you dusted off those numbers and brought that to us, Commissioner Laird did mention the fairgrounds restrooms, and those that was presented to us, and we probably delayed a little bit more on that, and it cost us a little bit, but I think we can put some money into that building. I don't know how much, and I don't know how much this year, but we need to take care of some of those things, and I think libraries might be a good place to start, and I'm not sure if you've been in touch with Garrett, especially as it relates to HVAC matters. Maybe there's something more we can do. I know we've done a little bit there. You know, long term, we would love to have a new library. I think there was some sticker shock last time, and there wasn't an ability to write that check or make that commitment, especially in light of the other project we had going on at the time, the health department building. That was, I think, in my mind, and I think to the community and to this commission, a successful project, and we had some funding available for that now in the form of interest off of the hospital sale funds. I don't know what this or future commissions might be willing to commit to. It'd be a surprise to me if they said, yeah, we're going to allocate all of that interest to, you know, a 30, 40, $50 million project. So I think it's going to take a number of creative heads to get together and to propose, you know, kind of a package deal. But it does, to Commissioner Laird's point, it does have to be something that makes sense for not only the commission, but to the public too. So, you know, I'm willing to have more conversations about that. But I think first, let's get through the budget. If there are some improvements or some repairs, maintenance things that need to be taken care of, fine, we'll look at that. But that's my feedback. Thanks for coming today.
thank you.
Commissioner Coates.
I don't want to rehash anything that Commissioner Leonard, Commissioner Nicolason spoke about. I do appreciate you coming before us. I just had a question if there were any of the other board members that wanted to make a statement, me, James, or Ivan, if there was anything that, or even yourself, anything to add before we close out.
I think that the whole reason, thank you for that. The whole reason we came tonight was not to ask for money specifically. We wanted you to be aware of these are our priorities, that these are systems that could fail at the library, and we want you to be aware of it so that you have some kind of pre-warning to it. We're not asking for money. We're not asking to have it fixed. We're not asking for a new building. We want you to be aware that these are going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it is when. And we want you guys to be aware of those because as the commission, it is your responsibility to maintain our library system. And we're just wanting you to be aware of them coming down the pipe because they are coming.
Commissioner North.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I do appreciate you guys coming in before us. Unfortunately, we are aware of many of the issues that we have around the county with the aging buildings that we've got, and the library just is one of them. And that's part of the reason why we had the study done. just so we could identify the areas that we have to address, short-term and long-term, basically to take care of our facilities. And unfortunately, there's a lot of our facilities that have been put on the back burner for a long time. And I know there's some of them that we're finally getting up to speed. We're getting them taken care of. And I think our maintenance department has done an extremely good job of trying to proactively go after those areas that need to be addressed immediately and then which ones can wait. So, that doesn't mean that we don't appreciate your list of things and what you believe is most important. Obviously, the bathrooms are one thing that, with the plumbing and the walls and stuff like that, we've had to address that in a few of our buildings because of the pipes that were in there and how long they've been there. So, I appreciate you guys bringing it before us, and we will continually work with our maintenance department and see what we can get done.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate the comments.
We
and,
do appreciate you coming and giving us the update.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you all coming in. The whole board, most of your board is here, and that's impressive. So, thank you.
Did you have anything to say, sir? Can you? Yep. You push the button. There you go.
Some of the commissioners were present when I interviewed with you guys a year ago. And I second what Commissioner Laird mentioned is the community involvement is very important. And what I sense as a board member, as a member of the Board of Trustees, and as a public officer, is that we want to be good stewards of the funds which is allocated to us because they are tax money. And I fully second what Commissioner Laird mentioned. But we are taking very little effort in educating the community. I'm being very honest with you as a board member sharing that. And I think to some extent, there's a entitlement mindset of saying we expect the commissioners to pay for this. And that's rather disappointing from my perspective because let's collaborate, share our opinions, and how can we work together rather than putting everything on the commissions. So I just want to make sure that as a board member, I am front and honest and straightforward with you guys to give you my opinion as a board member. Because that's very important. Community involvement is very important. And when you look at the little I know, is that I think we've had 2 public votes, and both of them have turned down against the building of the library. And that in itself is a message to say there's a gap here, and we have a responsibility, just to second what Commissioner Laird mentioned, and we're missing the boat there. Questions?
Appreciated that. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
well stated.
Thank you all for coming.
Sure.
I think you
You need to
Mimi, I
push
think
the
you need to
button,
turn
please.
on the.
Either one. Not loud enough.
Okay, thanks. When somebody moves first to a new community, they look at 2 or 3 things that are essential for a good quality of life: a good hospital, good schools, and a good library for their children. And when I first came here 50 years ago to Casper, the library was a great savior for me and my family, because it gave me an opportunity not only to visit an amazing place, but also to have a community identity through the library, because the library did so many things and I met people. It was really the foundation of my moving to Casper. Casper is so proud today of all the new buildings we have. I drove by that new marketplace or whatever on the east side that's come. Fancy new buildings. Our retail life is absolutely burgeoning, blooming in this country. We've got so many, we're cleaning up the city, downtown is thriving, there's so much happening. But unfortunately, the library hasn't kept up with that. You know, when you compare the library to some of the additions we've made to the city, and I know it's not through the government or through the commission or the city council, it's private enterprise that comes in and builds the city and makes the city amazing. It's a pity that we are not able to match that new image of Casper that we are creating. And I think to a point we are being penny wise and pound foolish, because all of the facility improvements that you make, we're going to spend a reasonable amount of money, I think, to fix all these things. Nice to have new bathrooms, new elevators, and more space for parking and for people to come in. It seems like a pipe dream. But if it's a basis of a good city and a good community to attract people to move here and live here, I think it should be a priority. And not just having David Street have amazing shows and have, you know, beautiful new shops to shop in. I think we need to look at this in a larger picture. And I honestly think we're shortchanging ourselves as a community if we don't look to that. So a lot of our efforts, we've been talking about the new library. I mean, I'm a relatively new board member, so I don't have a great basis to talk on. But what I'm saying is, we've been discussing for the last 2 years since I've been a new library. And a new library takes money, obviously, and that's what's holding us back at this point. I think we ought to really look at it in a more realistic way as not an expenditure, but a tremendous advantage to Casper as a city. Truly, it's a priority. And if we would all put all 5 of you, the board, I think if we put our resources together, we can work out a better option than what we are working with. You know, we're like taking a new dress and putting an old piece of cloth to it, or like putting good wine in old bottles. We need to look ahead beyond that. We need to be a little more visionary and idealistic and we can do it. I mean, I've been here 50 years and I've seen the changes in Casper and the things we've got done. We are a resourceful community, and you're all elected because people believe in your ability to change things for the better. And I believe we can do it. And the point you raised about speaking to the public, I honestly don't think the public has any idea what the library really holds. It used to be just books.
I think you're right on that, and I apologize to having cut you off a little bit.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot.
Okay, and I'm
Other
really
people.
sorry, but this is something I feel passionately about.
I can
And
tell.
That's the only reason I'm on the board. So we can all work together to make this better.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's actually an
Do
old
what the
name.
people on the mountain did, get 20,000 people to sign your petition that they want a new library. It can be done.
We can just have a public review of what the community feels. We need to have a public hearing on this. What do they feel about the library? We can do it.
Annette, you ready?
To just hand these. Hello.
Hello, if you could all introduce yourselves and why are you here?
Yes, sir. My name is Annette Pitts. I'm CEO with Visit Casper. I'm here to give you an update.
I'm Renee Pettin-Jones. I'm a board member who works in the tourism industry.
Tiffany Gamble, also one of the board members and in the tourism industry.
Thank you for coming. What do you got for us?
You know, I am just doing a little update. It's been about 6 months, I think, since we've been here, and I think
Our hope was just to keep in more regular contact and just let you know kind of how we're doing and what we're doing and make sure the lines of communication are open. So if you have any questions, we can answer them. So I got a copy, just a hard copy of our presentation for you to look at there as well. And I did just go ahead and bring you a new version of our destination guide, just, because it's new and we think it's pretty cool. So the things we're going to talk about are just on this sheet that says on the agenda. As I mentioned, it's been about 6 months, so we're just telling you what we've been up to since the last time we were here. In that process, we'll give you some updates on some kind of specific projects that relate to the county. We'll talk a little bit about the year ahead and just some industry updates. I also do want to just recognize again our board appointees and really thank you for making such good decisions and the folks that are serving on your behalf, not just brown nosing. It's been really, really, really important for me, not only as somebody who's new in this job, but somebody new to Casper and new to the county, new to Wyoming. To have institutional knowledge about Visit Casper, about the relationship with the county, and also just about the depth of our tourism industry needs. So we really, really appreciate you two. Tiffany thinks she's not going to be renewing in June. So, I don't know what I have to say about that, Tiffany, other than thank you. And I'm sad, but excited for you. Okay, so some quick highlights, things that have been going on. Destination development funded projects that we're going to talk a little more in detail about are nearing completion for this last round. We did receive notification from Wyoming Office of Tourism that all of our fulfillment paperwork, all that good stuff, was accepted and looks good. So an additional round of funding should be coming out here in the next few months, which is exciting. We started hosting some quarterly hotel roundtables. I felt like, again, I've been here about 1.5 years now, but making sure, since I am new to the area, that we have that connectivity with our key partners in the industry is very important. So those have been really well attended. It gives us an opportunity to do this with them, tell them what we're up to, but more importantly for the folks who are in the trenches to tell us what is going on in their properties, what are they seeing and hearing with travelers, with group, with sports, all those key demographics. The Pathways National Heritage Area was partially accepted, that feasibility study that was submitted back in 2024. I understand that that was put on the Board of County Commissioners agenda and you guys did vote in support of that at that time. I did just have a meeting with those folks this morning though and just said, we have a whole lot of new faces since that work was done. And I think that some new outreach is going to be in order. We have new folks on our board. We're going to have some new commissioners, et cetera. So look to see more communication come out about that. We have been participating in the planning committee for the 250th celebration. So many exciting things going on in the community. So we're trying to help stitch those messages together and be able to market them effectively. We have been participating in the planning committee for the CNFR contract renewal process, as has Commissioner Milne. We'll be talking about that more later today. We did take some of our officers to the board leadership symposium this year. It's just an opportunity to ingratiate our leadership on our board to more of the industry side of how organizations like ours are running. And I honestly think I'd like to see us do more of that going forward. I think there is room for a lot more board involvement on the professional development side, just making sure that not only staff is getting ingratiated into industry best practices, but also our board members. So as we start budgeting for the year ahead, I'm hoping that we'll be able to do some of that. We started doing monthly performance reporting. You will see on our website a scorecard every month, and it will be able to answer your questions about what is our occupancy rate looking like, what's our average daily rate, what are our hotel properties making in terms of revenue per available room, You can look at our marketing KPIs, our sales KPIs, and then you can ask me any questions that you have. We recently updated our tourism master plan, which is a community-wide, county-wide tourism initiative. It should answer the question of what does this community want our county to look like as a tourism destination and a place to live and work, and what does it not want? So that steering committee is getting ready to start meeting here in about a month. You're welcome to join. I would love, and as a matter of fact, folks, if there's anybody here in the audience that wants to participate, it is a broad-reaching process. We started a sponsorship qualification process. We also started looking at event visitation measurement, looking at not just how many folks are coming, but where did they come from, where did they go, doing economic impact calculations for those that request it and for the ones that make sense for us. Obviously, our flagship events like CNFR, the Fair and Rodeo, our sports events that we sponsor through Compete Casper, all of those things we're measuring. And we're also working on some really cool new content in terms of professional photography and new videos being produced. We'll have 3 new videos that come out this year. And I believe we're doing, one is on outdoor recreation, one is on local history and culture, and the other is on doing business in the county and why it's a good place to do business. So I'm honestly really excited about that one because it's a little new for our organization. Okay, next, I just wanted to give you guys just a quick look at some of the projects that we've been doing specifically on the county's behalf. So last year, it might have been a year and a half ago, it was right after I started, the board met and they made some decisions about destination development funds. One of the awards that they made was to the county for wayfinding up on the mountain, mountains, Casper Mountain and Muddy Mountain. And so this shows you an example of some of those signs. I think we only have 1 sign left. Like, I think it's made, they just need to stick it in the ground and get it inspected. I'm like, it's been a while, so they're getting tired of my weekly emails. But we're real close. Another project, which I know you guys know about, is the Hell's Half Acre improvements. So we have been working again with the destination development funds that our board awarded to the county, to work in partnership with the county to re-envision and to kind of reinvigorate what it's like to visit out at Hell's Half Acre. So we have the new boardwalk out there. We've got the new viewing platform. Annette ordered her very first pit toilet. That came and was installed, so that was exciting. We've got new interpretive signage. I believe the county donated garbage cans. We got new picnic tables in the picnic area. We even planted new grass because we disrupted the soil. So we've tried to be really thorough. And so it was a great partnership project, working with your Department of Road and Bridge, with Parks. We had not only the destination development funds that the board awarded, but then we had 2 different grants that we wrote as well. So by we, I mean Kelly Estes, who works on our behalf, and then also Amanda Montgomery, who used to work for us, but is now just volunteering on the committee. Those 2 actually wrote those additional grants. So we put in a total of over $300,000 into that project. So we're really excited about it. And we understand we're having a barbecue. You guys are going to be wearing some aprons. If you haven't volunteered yet, we literally have ordered your aprons. We're going to be serving up some hamburgers and hot dogs. We're taking the Visit Casper bus out for anybody who wants a free ride. And we're working with the chamber, and they're going to do a ribbon cutting. And we just are very excited about this project. And honestly, the work of that committee, I just think is so impressive because Michael Brown with the county started this back in 2022. And then many folks before I got here have been working on it. So it was just fun to get to be on the tail end. Another thing that we did this year is we just invested in a grant service because I would sit on these calls and I would often hear about grant opportunities. And by the time I would hear about it on a call, somebody else was getting it. So we invested in a grant service. It's not very much, but then once a week, I just go in and I look for opportunities for folks on our Joint Powers Board. And so we do see things every so often, and I just send them to folks at the county. And one that I think is a big maybe still is the Easton Grant. I just sent that on, and I know your community development department has been working on that. And I think it's still in the works. So I think that's a good sign. And we will continue to look for those opportunities. And then just some things coming up. We've got National Travel and Tourism Week is the first week of May. So we have got a lot of stuff going on. We have got our awards luncheon on May 4th. If you have not, you should have received a personal invitation from me. But if you don't remember getting that, and or if you have not RSVP'd and you want to go, we would love to have you be our guests. We have got a nice turnout already reserved. We've got about 140 folks that have signed on, so we're really excited about that. At that luncheon, we're going to roll out the wild and wacky numbers from 2025. It was a real interesting year for tourism, so you'll hear all about that. Talk about things that are coming up, and then we'll have Dominic Bravo, the new executive director for the Wyoming Office of Tourism. We'll
Use that other mic for a second. Turning them off, Don. On the bottom is that power switch. The bottom. There, something's working.
All right.
Just pound it.
I can do that. Okay, we were going to be doing a senior center field day, but we just have not been able to get folks, enough folks to sign up. And we have tried and we have tried. So I don't know that we are going to actually be doing the senior center field day, which is sad. So if it doesn't happen during that week, we're going to try again on another date that might work better. Because we really do want to have those conversations. And then we talked about the Hell's Half Acre ribbon cutting. Other big things coming up, of course, are the CNFR contract renewal conversations. Internally, I'll be meeting with my board later to talk about what Visit Casper wants to do in terms of our contract renewal for CNFR, what we want to do for the Fair and Rodeo, Compete Casper. We provide sponsorship dollars and in-kind services to different organizations. And once we were just discussing this at a board meeting today, when we're looking at potentially doing things differently, then I take that to the board and we'll have that conversation. We will, of course, have our big celebration on the 250th, so looking forward to that. And of course, we have our local optional lodging tax vote coming up. So we've been trying to do as much education about that as we can, just to help folks have enough info to make a good informed decision. And then, last but not least, just kind of things in the industry. Tourism is growing, but it's very sustainable here. We have such a nice, diversified tourism product. We don't have all of our eggs in one basket. You'll all have been to communities where it's all leisure all year, and it's very difficult for the folks that live and work there. And I think one of the things that's really healthy about Natrona County is we do have a really strong leisure travel market, but we also have meetings and conferences. Sports is a really important dynamic, and as economic development projects continue to happen, we get crews that come in and stay at our hotels as well. So we have a really healthy market portfolio. For us, leisure, meetings, sports, those are kind of the three legs of our stool. Our visitor economy is just super, super important to the overall health of the economy in our county and our state. As the #2 industry in Wyoming, you can't live here or do business here and not be affected by how well our industry is doing. So I would say, even though there are definitely socio or geopolitical implications that happen all the time that affect our industry and others as well, then, and we're certainly experiencing now that with the cost of fuel, there's just no arguing about that. But if I was to kind of go up to the 20,000 foot level, seasonality is one of our biggest issues still. And so we really need to figure out how we can help fill those gaps. because it doesn't help our hotels or our restaurants or retail businesses if they're already full to just keep pushing people at the exact same time. We have to fill those hotel rooms and those businesses when they need that support. And then I just thought I would give you just a little visual. This is one of the tools that we use just to kind of measure what is happening in market. This shows you the purple line is 2025 and the green line is 2026. This is based on geolocation data. So it's not like those volume numbers, those trip numbers are not going to be like, those are not how I'm going to measure volume. But I think the real important message is the trend. And so you can think of some of the big events that you love. And when are they? And then you can kind of look at this and say, oh, yeah, so look in July, you can kind of see where the fair and rodeo happens and feel like, yep, that's doing its work. You can look in June and see when CNFR happens and go, yep, that's right up there. We're driving some visitation. But then you can see those valleys. A lot of folks, I think, are under the impression that we just have this little off-peak season. But we actually have a pretty darn wide off-peak season, and so we have our work cut out for us. And so we try to look at all of our work through this lens. Take a look at this. This is aggregate data for the county. After we take this look, then we just pull for our hotel properties and then say, oh, well, it may look this way for overall volume, but it looks like our hotels are actually kind of full at this time. So it helps us guide the work that we do. And that is what I have for you today.
Commissioner North.
I just want to express my thanks for the partnership the Visit Casper's been in. I mean, Hell's Half Acre, the wayfinding sign. Hopefully we'll get the Easton grant. The fact that we're still under board review is a good sign, since it had to be turned in by the 1st of February. So, the longer it goes, the better off we are. And the more chance we have of getting that. And I do appreciate everything that you guys have done to promote the county and to help us out. We're in areas that we didn't have the funding to get things done. And, Hell's Half Acre there's a lot of stuff that's gone on out there, and I'm looking forward to being able to go out there and flip a few burgers and maybe serve a hot dog or two. So, anyway, thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question. I just say thank you. You three ladies do a good job, and I'm happy you came in here and spent a little time with us. We always like to see what everybody thinks and says. Who designed your book?
Sit in our office.
It's done in your office?
Yeah.
And then this one?
Me. Just me.
They're good. They're a good job.
Well, good. I'm glad.
You need
No, I was like, uh-oh, there goes
to, you need to
typo.
teach a few other people how to do it.
Oh, well, thank you. If I can't make a PowerPoint at this stage in my life, I'd probably be hard pressed. Yeah, I appreciate that though. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Peter?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Laird. This is a quality publication. Thank you. Thanks for helping out with Hell's Half Acre. I think we were presented with some ideas about 4 years ago or 3 years ago, and we weren't sure how we could do that. And I know there was some concern and reluctance from a financial perspective. So thank you for stepping up. We appreciate that. And is there anything that, we have been kind of partners on some of the CNFR and some of those things in the past, but is there anything specific that Visit Casper needs from the county to help tourism and that economic driver?
Something you'd like to say?
Well, certainly one thing is for you're getting ready to appoint a new person to the board. We hope that you'll allow us to help with at least recommendations for your consideration. once the application process is completed, because it's so critical that there be board members who understand the industry and how it contributes to the overall economy of Natrona County.
Anybody else?
I would just add to that real quick.
Statement.
Yes,
Your last one.
I know. I am
Oh,
going to take
horrible.
the opportunity to say thank you for allowing me to be one of your appointees. I was thinking it's either 6 or 8 years. This was one of the first boards I joined when I came back to the community and tried to get re-ingrained. My kids are now 5 and 6, and I got to hang out with them while they're still home. So that's my priority. Hopefully I will be back one day when I'm in the next phase of my life. But yes, we have been working to hopefully recruit you guys some high quality candidates for your choosing. It is important that you guys have someone that you can trust and is a good community leader, but also does have that tourism background. So we're hopeful that you guys will have too many to choose from. Thank you
Appreciate
again.
it. I want to say thank you for being on that committee there for so long and everything like that. Really do appreciate it. You'll be missed.
Yes.
Thank you. You don't have anything else?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
real quick, I wanted to thank Visit Casper. So we just hosted a County Clerks Association meeting last week, and Visit Casper was so generous as to give us a sponsorship for that. So the meeting was a success. We hosted over 60 clerks and their staff from this all over the state. So it was a big, great shebang, if you will. But I appreciate your generosity. So again, thank you.
I'm glad that you reached out to us. We were thrilled. So thanks for letting us be here.
Thank you for the update. Apply for some other committee report. Okay. No. No, we need quality people. Alrighty, GIS up next. How are you today? Not too bad. Let everybody know who y'all are and what you're here for. Need to push the green button. There you go.
There we are. Denise Westcup, Regional GIS Administrator.
Eileen Hill, IT Director.
And we are here with our annual update regarding the Regional GIS Cooperative. This is essentially gives you the opportunity to review the memorandum in regards to the scope of the budget for this next fiscal year, in addition to essentially asking any questions pertaining to ongoing projects, or if you would like, we can just move into some of the highlights. But before we move into some of the projects that have been underway or forthcoming, do we have any questions regarding the materials in the budget or the memo itself?
Is there any questions or comments?
No?
Good.
Okay.
I think we've been through this rodeo once or twice. So.
We have, and reflecting back, this has been the program itself has grown leaps and bounds in the 12, 13 years that it's been underway. Reflective, actually, to segue into something that is forthcoming, we will be renewing our ELA with Esri. This is a 3-year contract that expires in February. Esri provides the core application services that support GIS, GIS being the core enterprise spatial data solution. It's not just its own application and system, it also supports other core enterprise systems such as Spillman, 911, Open Data, OpenGov. So that being said, in respect to renewing this next fiscal year or this next renewal cycle, we have to look at how our system has grown. And we have gone from tens of users to this week I was looking at just our internal employee users are in excess of 316. So with that type of demand and to accommodate for growth, that is something that we will be accommodating for in the next renewal cycle. So I do anticipate that we will be moved up a tier just to accommodate for the expansion in our user licensing and levels. Okay. Does anybody have questions pertaining? And whenever I say user level, this specifically pertains for our internal users. So those are staff that are using the applications via their desktop. but also field operations, whether it's road and bridge, the sheriff's office, emergency management. Those also comprise those particular users as well. That does not account for all of the information that we push out to the public via GeoSmart or other web resources. Okay. Okay.
Any questions on that?
One of the key criteria that we've always pushed, and because we have so many parent members with our ELA, is to have instead of a 3-year, a 5-year ELA to make it easier in regards to renewal. We have been able to negotiate not 3, but 4. So we met in the middle. So that will provide us 1 extra year in regards to having to go through the process of renewal. So you will be seeing that forthcoming for review. Okay. Another large project that was undertaken this last year was the flight. I think everyone realizes the impact. Yeah, a lot of smiles. Imagery makes people happy. Yeah. So we were in the correct. So this particular fiscal year, every year there's a 5-year high resolution ortho imagery capture. We are in the process of still finalizing the deliverables. They are going through quality control. There were some issues observed in the May capture. There was some accuracy in regards to the resolution and precision at the base of the mountain. Required reflight in November. Eagle View is in the process of performing the color correction and in order to move it over to our third-party quality control that the MPO has sponsored. And once Dewberry, who's the third-party MPO quality control vendor, essentially communicates that it's final, then we will push it out to the public. It is available presently for internal use, so anyone that, from a networking standpoint, can access it from the county. Okay. We also, every 10 years, acquire elevation data. And what was specifically important in this particular cycle, the mountain was collected. That data is completed, it's processed, it's available for internal use. We've already had engineering and survey firms acquire this information because it is of high value for their work. But we've also pushed it out to GeoSmart as well. So it is available for the public, whether it's utility purposes, recreation purposes. Those contour pieces are out there and available for public consumption. Okay.
How'd the LiDAR come out?
Good.
Okay.
On Casper Mountain, that is what the contour data is derived from the LiDAR data. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we have 1-foot contours, but we resample it to push it out to the web, because that would just, if you could imagine trying to load 1-foot contours on Casper Mountain on your local PC, that could take some time. So it is resampled for public consumption. Okay. Any other questions regarding those pieces of information?
The reflight, was that charged back to us, or was that done by a refund type, or how did that get paid?
So because Eagle View noticed the error whenever they were going through the post-processing, it was on them.
Okay.
They had to refly at their own cost.
Thank you.
Yes. Other questions pertaining to flight, deliverables, contours? No? Okay.
You're doing good.
All right. One other, I think, project that would be of interest that is going to be a multi-year project is Next Gen 911. Is anyone familiar with those words that have probably been mentioned more and more? Okay. So I am involved, in addition to Nancy Moody, GIS staff here in Natrona County, on the Next Gen 911 statewide committee for GIS integration. We have been involved with this program and this committee now for about approximately 2 years. There was a GIS data model that was created to ensure that our data within the state would meet compatibility levels for the national integration. That was approved and adopted. And now we're in the next phase of inventory, but also quality control. Now that we have a model available, we have to determine if the data within the state actually will meet the criteria. So that is where we're at presently, and I have nominated Natrona County to be one of the first counties that will go through quality control. Datamark, which is a third-party vendor that has involved in the nationwide implementation of Next Gen 911, has a free service available where they will essentially take your data and run it through a data readiness check, and then provide a report back. So I'm in the process of compiling the data for Natrona County in order to provide it to DataMark, so we will receive that report back. Also of importance was the bill that essentially will fund the next gen implementation strategy study. That was approved just recently. So we should look to see an implementation study and plan developed for the state of Wyoming. But our hopes from the GIS committee side is that we will be ahead of the game, since we've been tackling this now for 2 years. But it is a long-term effort. We are in it. We will be in this for quite some time. But the goal is to stay ahead.
Wow. Yeah.
Questions? Projects of interest? Yeah?
Just wanted to say thank you for doing everything you do with the GIS system. It is the backbone of a lot of the utility operations, and it saves so much time and energy and effort. So really thank you for doing everything you do.
I appreciate it. I would be remiss to not mention, though, without the help of county and city IT staff, as you can imagine, technology just becomes more and more complex. Security, permissions, networking. It has really been a coordinated effort among the city and the county to make sure that we can be as functional and operational as possible and to stay in the game. It is very challenging to meet the new networking security requirements in order to support an enterprise technology in-house. So kudos to them as well.
I'm going to ask for Dallas. How are you using IA? Or AI or whatever that newfangled
How are
thing
we
is?
using? We have not made that a core part of our system present. Presently, the analytics that are operating, in that brain are what are driving our system presently. Yeah.
I was teasing him more
Yeah.
than you. Peter, did you have some?
I guess, Mr. Chairman, your fiscal year 27 proposed is actually less than your fiscal year 26, so thank you.
You're welcome.
It looks like it's personnel.
It's totally a benefit change that created the reduction.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Good. That was it. Just the observation.
You're welcome. Yes. All right.
Oh.
Will do.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much.
When do you think, sorry, when do you think we'll need to fly again? We'll have this package, and is that 3 years down the road?
So every 5 years is when we fly for ortho imagery. Every 10 years for the LiDAR and elevation. So we collected 2025, we will be 2030.
Okay.
And ideally, we partnered with the state. We received a significant cost saving. So if Eagle View is still partnering with Department of Revenue, recommendation would be to essentially purchase the certified imagery, which is one step above the Department of Revenue data, and continue down that path if it's available.
Great.
All right.
I don't want to jump the gun. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Might as well just sit there.
Next.
Oh.
You're welcome to hang out if you want.
You can sit there and be supportive if you want.
See ya. Okay. Good afternoon, commissioners. How are you doing?
Part 2 for you.
Part 2 for me. Are you
You're here
in
for.
receipt of my update? I was not present for the last meeting, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to update you on all things IT.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll start at the beginning with the cybersecurity program. I'm very excited to welcome Mandy Parker to our team. She'll be a dedicated cybersecurity analyst, and to that end, one of the main priorities is strengthening our cybersecurity awareness program, ensuring that we're meeting all of our security requirements for our insurance, helping out with security policies, incident response, continuity of government planning, and just being our go-to source for ensuring cybersecurity necessities. One of those other items is contracts. As we work with vendors, it's important that we consider including some sort of clause for understanding what their security posture is if we're in a situation where we're exchanging data or they're hosting or handling some of our data. And I think that'll be a theme throughout many areas or disciplines, including ADA and AI use. So that's something that I hope to work with the legal team on ongoing throughout the next year to ensure those clauses are included. Are there any questions about the cybersecurity program?
Any questions?
I'll move on then to the website redesign and ADA compliance. We accomplished the redesign of the website. So far, I haven't gotten any negative comments. I've gotten some good feedback, and in part that design, I like to do a redesign every 5 years just to keep up with the trends, make it easier to use. And in this case, we also did some ADA compliance with this redesign. That project is ongoing. It is challenging. It is expensive. And the Department of Justice ruling has been extended for a year, which is quite a relief. So we will be continuing on that effort. But you'll see on the website, if you look at an agenda, we now have a ADA accessible toggle. So if you open a PDF, you toggle over and the PDF becomes ADA compliant. It outlines it. You can even translate it into a different language if you want to. It's kind of a slick little tool. So I have to give kudos to Heather Gray in my office. She was very instrumental in being diligent and determined to make sure that we were on track and doing a lot of the research and finding the tools to get us to where we are today. So I appreciate her effort there. Any questions or ideas or thoughts for website or ADA governance? Okay. Another internal team that I worked with is Ms. Good's staff and Human Resources, and we worked hard on building out what we call an NC Natrona County Employee Hub. And on that hub, we will have resources for the employees to get one-stop shop to their benefits, to the logins, to all of information, frequently asked questions. Really the effort there is to make sure our employees understand what their benefits are, how to use them, the best way to utilize them in efforts to ensure that our plan is utilized well and to keep them informed on things that are going on. Unfortunately, we were not able to launch when desired, but we will get that going as soon as we possibly can. So you should be able to access it at this point. We just don't have the entire county available to access it yet. Do you have anything you want to share on that? Okay. Next up on my report is AI governance. This has also been a challenging journey. I know I've sat here and talked about policy over and over again, and what I'm learning in this journey is that it's shifting from adoption, do this, do that, don't do this kind of thing as a policy, more to governance. Governance in the terms of, well, we should do this, we shouldn't do that, but how? How do I do that? What are we doing with it? What risks are we introducing into our systems and our data, security-wise or legal-wise? And so I've been working with a team. We've had some struggles getting the entire team together all the time, but I think there's a consensus that we want to continue down the journey of building an AI governance team or committee. And we're looking at best practices from other experts. We've had some workshops and some training, and we've tapped into their lessons learned. We had our draft policy, our risk assessment, and our analysis reviewed by 2 experts who said it's on track They gave us a few pieces of feedback to improve upon it, but it was very solid. Also, Warm has looked at our policy and our notion of an AI governance team. I'm looking at training options so that employees, leadership can understand why it's important to understand what it is, how to use it, how to be careful with it, you know, what's biased. Well, let's get trained on what that really means. I have underway a complimentary audit of our infrastructure, of our systems, to learn what kind of AI tools are out there being used, because we're using it. It's just a matter of understanding how to use it well. And I'm trying to build a framework which will include these steps: the audit, the disclosures, training, risk mitigation, and assessment. And I know that's a lot, and it seems like we're not getting very far, and please understand that it is a journey, and that other counties are in the same boat, other entities are in the same boat as we are. I'm happy to put together some sort of implementation plan or framework or roadmap or something and share that with you, if that's helpful. I really have anything else to add unless you have some questions or comments about
So I think
that
that'd be
effort.
beneficial for us.
Okay.
To see a roadmap, see where we're going, where we're at.
And then maybe based on that, we can talk about it with leadership and see who we can get on board to continue. I mean, I know all of us are very busy, but it's an important thing. We may even consider augmenting this effort with some experts who have done this, have been there, lift us up to the point where we can get to the point of maintenance and monitoring, et cetera. Okay. There are other items here on the list. Ms. Good mentioned her document alerts last meeting. It's pretty exciting. Happy to provide that service to our constituents. Working with the legal department on DocuSign. We're working on getting that tested so that you can start e-signing your contracts with vendors, and also working very dutifully on a disaster recovery site at Natrona County Fire District Station 7, so that we're building that out. We've pretty much wrapped up our migration to Microsoft 365. There's still some work to do in the sheriff's office. Supporting elections and working with emergency management on continuity of government and incident response planning. Any questions?
Good job.
Thank you. Well, if there's no questions.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. Eileen, thanks as always. Thanks for breaking it down in a way the five of us dummies can understand.
Pleasure.
You know, we do rely on you a lot for your guidance on protecting the county and the information that we have. My question, I guess, is if you had some legislation or, you know, for our state representatives and senators to look at as it relates to AI and quantum computing and trying to be ahead of those things so that we can, you know, pass laws at the state level or resolutions and policies here. I think you'd be a real professional and a real good head to be passing on recommendations. So I hope you're involved in that. And if you have recommendations, I know that, you know, pass on to Ashley or this board, please let us know.
I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate that support.
Commissioner Earth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Eileen, we do appreciate you keeping us out of trouble. Because I know there's several of us that would get us in trouble really quick if we didn't have help. So I do appreciate that, and I appreciate everything that your department does for the county all the way across the board. I just wanted to express that.
Well, thank you. I'll pass that on. It does take a team. Kudos to my team as well. Okay. Thank
Thank you as well. Appreciate, like the other day, you had your newest kid up here helping me get signed up and everything. I was distracted. I wasn't able to thank him personally, but let him know I appreciated him getting me going and everything like that. Thanks. Alrighty. We're ahead of schedule now. Wow. Ashley, want to start?
All right, so first, we got an agreement for the bypass for East Salt Creek Bridge. Finally got that kind of worked out. There was a lot of back and forth with Mr. Tobin, but we successfully was able to get that done. And I know that we had discussed adding that to the consent agenda for tonight. Additionally, I'm working on the Vista West response, which is due May 10th. I'm hoping to have pretty much a solid draft done by the end of this week, so I can get it to Commissioner Nicolason so he can review it and everything. That gives us plenty of time still to work out anything. So I've been busy working on that. I've also been helping, CAP is working on updating their bylaws. So I had a meeting with them, or with Kelly, to talk about or to go over those bylaws and stuff. I believe she's going to be taking it to her board here shortly, and she's going to be letting you all know that as well. Additionally, my office, we finished going through and closing the Title 25s that we received from the court because they hadn't been getting closed properly. Right now, my staff is going through basically all the Title 25s that we've had for this year so far. Just making sure that we have gotten those closed properly. We're working with WBI, who's going to start sending us a monthly report of telling us who they've dismissed that month or who they've discharged that month, so that we can make sure that we don't have this situation again where with the courts, they're saying, hey, we have all these cases that hadn't been dismissed. And so we've worked that out, which is good. And then I had sent last commission, we had an update concerning the PRISM. The PRISM brief is due, looks like May 22nd. And that's the last update I had for that one. I know that's always asked. That's about it.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
for the prison brief, I think Mr. Schwartz is carrying most of the load on that. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And are you conferring with him to just, I guess, be available to, run ideas by him? I expect that you would be, but I just think that if you can be maybe a little proactive and reach out well before the 22nd and just to touch base, that would be great.
Yes, I will reach out to him and just kind of get an update and see if there's anything that I can help him with on that.
With regard to the East Salt Creek Bridge temporary easement situation, I didn't see an Exhibit A to the email. Is that in something I missed? Or is it...
I do apologize. I did not attach that. And when I printed, I forgot to attach it. So I will get that printed. And it's just a map that Mr. Hagler had drawn, kind of showing where it was.
Well, I'd like to see it.
I will, yes.
And then the other thing is county's responsibilities, Romanet 13. Under no circumstance during the term of this agreement will the county or its contractors use the temporary bypass road easement for access to the permanent road easement for 117 and for any activity related to the demolition of existing or construction bridge or construction new structure, access to permanent road easement located in Cottonwood Creek Draw by crossing surface lands owned by landowner will be handled by separate agreement. Could somebody explain that to me? Just in general, what we're talking about there?
I think Mike can probably explain it a little bit better, but I will just note that that is something that
Mr. chairman of the board.
insistent on having.
I don't know, I don't think I have a problem with it. I just like to have some idea and what the separate agreement might be down, we might have to enter into.
Probably gonna be a construction easement, but we have no way of knowing till we get the design of what we're gonna put in there. And I explained that to Mr. Tobin. He was concerned that we would come off the bypass and drive over to the bridge and, you know, basically destroy more land. So, and I explained to him at a future point, once we know what we're gonna do there and how much land we need to operate in, we very well be coming back with a temporary construction easement that would take in that land, but I don't know. Right now, I couldn't tell you.
$5,000, I believe.
Right.
If we get through this phase, is there a chance he's gonna ask for 10 times that amount, for that next easement?
You know, the way this is went, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it'd be more, but he may re-up the 5,000 if we had to extend it a year. It'll all depend on the structure that can go in there. You know, if it's a bridge, it's going to be longer time period. If it's not a bridge, it should go pretty fast, and we might get it done in a year. But right now, Worthington can't go on the land until we sign this agreement, and then they're going to sign an agreement with him so they can go on the land to survey. And once I get all that, I'll know kind of what has to go in there or could go in there. It's kind of a, you know, just day at a time thing.
Yeah, it seems like we don't have much choice.
No, there's no other way around. And the other rancher there's been very good to work with over this. I mean, he can't get propane, he can't get his garbage out, he can't get his cows out. You know, it's a mess till I get that culvert in. So, why? It's a county road. Yeah, he didn't cause it, neither did this other gentleman. It's just that there was a bypass in there years ago. You can see it on the aerial when you see that Exhibit A, and that's where I'm going to build it again. I don't know who put it in or what, but you know, it was there, and I thought it'd be easy to put back, but he wants, you know, more or less be taken care of for the trespass in a sense. So, and I get it. You know, he's going to have some public go down that road, and we need to be responsible for it. I don't know. You can see it on the aerial, but nobody can tell me. Even the other rancher out there doesn't remember it ever being there. You know, you can see it, but he doesn't ever remember using it. I'm sure at some point they probably flooded bad, and maybe there was some other type of damage in the draw that they had to do it that way, you know. But the bridge doesn't show any effect of a major flood. You know, it's high, and I'm assuming it was probably prior to the bridge, you know, years and years ago, and but nobody can tell me. I mean, there's no record or history of it. He doesn't know. He grew up on that ranch as a kid, and nobody can tell me. I've talked to a number of people up there, and you know, what you see on Google Earth is what you see, and you can tell it was there at one time, but it wasn't a bridge. Matter of fact, there's a culvert downstream from where I'm going to put ours, which ours will probably be downstream someday if it floods, but it'd be easy to put back in. It's dry. I mean, it only floods. I mean, it's very little water. So, but the area that it comes from is vast. And when it comes, that land out there doesn't suck up water. So it just rolls. And, you know, it's all coming off such high elevation that when it comes down through there, it spreads way wide, but it's got a neck down to get under the bridge. And that's where the force comes from. So otherwise you'd need a 300-foot bridge in there, you know. Right now you have 100-some foot. We're going to try and narrow that up. Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah. We'll need to have somebody make an amendment and motion to put it on.
Michelle has the final.
Yeah, Chairman, Commissioners, we're ready to go. I'm just gonna need somebody to first and second it, amend the consent agenda to include agreement between Natrona County and Coal Draw Land and Livestock Company, or LLC. So I'll just need, where the motion is ready to go, I just need a first and a second.
I move that we. Second.
I don't know if I can accept that motion. Want to rephrase there, sir? Somebody want to make a motion that's good?
I move to amend the agenda to accept the contract between Natrona County and Coal Draw Land and Livestock Company.
A motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Anything else? Any other questions for legal? All righty, good job. Michelle, did you have some?
The board appointments. So right now, we have two, for the P and Z, we have two that live in, or I'm sorry, we have one that lives in an unincorporated area, that is going, the term is ending. We have two that are in an incorporated area, so obviously that one for sure will have to be interviewed. Two of them that we have for the health department, I do have one recommendation for them. I have two for the library board. So far, nobody for the Historic Preservation Commission. Citizens Transportation, we have two vacancies, or we have one vacancy, one coming up. I have emailed the current member, haven't heard anything from him. And then we have three for the firefighters of Natrona County, and when I have a minute, I'll email those to, Mr. Haigler. And then Amico, we're just kind of sitting in limbo on that one until the 17th. I haven't started making, the appointments yet, because I don't know for sure which one we will for sure have to interview, but I just want to give you guys an update on that. Well, the interviews are scheduled for May 12th. And yeah, and they'll be like 20 minutes. It's gonna be a late one. That's up to you guys.
You gonna turn into a punk? I know.
What if I bring burritos? No, I'm sorry.
So if we push it back or start earlier, what time earlier, and
Well-
how does that push it back?
So, I mean, four people would be an hour.
Right.
So even if, so if we were to, right now we're sitting at 11 people, so that would be 8 o'clock. So it'd put us at 7 when we would end. If that was 4.
If we start at 4,
Yeah, our last
Started
appointment
at
would be
3.
7. Then it would be 6.
6,
But that's if we don't get any more applicants. Right now, that's what it's sitting at.
when are those going to close?
It closes on the May 4th.
So what's the board's pleasure? Okay. Let's schedule it for start.
Perfect.
And you, what? Michelle does a pretty good job of that, getting people here early. We just don't have, we have people that are no-shows. And when they do that, then she's usually on the phone trying to get somebody there. Okay, yeah, that works. Good. That's alrighty. Anything else, Michelle?
No, I am good.
Okay, Tracy.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to remind the board that the deadline for setting the elected official salaries would be the May 19th meeting. So we are slated on the May 5th meeting to talk about that, but I just wanted to put a bug in your ear that that deadline is approaching. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And anybody else have anything that they need to bring up? If not, we'll.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner
Elected
Laird, that would be the elected official salary. They have to be set by July 1 by resolution. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Laird, that is slated to be discussed at June 2nd meeting. Thank you.
All right, so moving on to exec. Do I have a motion to go into exec for contracts and personnel?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go into executive session for contracts and personnel and what? And legal advice. Thank you.
Motion and second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, great. In recess with the exec thing. Maybe you don't want to be on. Yeah. Back in regular session, out of exec, we did make a couple of decisions on a couple things. So action was taken in regards to CNFR contracting moving forward, authorizing Forward Wyoming Center to enter into negotiations. Then we also did take action in regards to personnel and hiring, with hopefully an announcement to be made soon. So that's that. Moving on would be approval of the consent agenda. I have a motion minding that we did make an amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as amended.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and passed. Any contracts, agreements, resolutions that we need to discuss? Nope. The contract was added to the consent agenda. Public hearings? Nope. Public comments? Nope. Commissioners' comments? Dave?
I don't have anything tonight.
All right. Peter?
I'm going to channel former Commissioner Rob Hendry. It's hot and dry out there, and we need to be careful. Hopefully, people won't be throwing their cigarette butts out the window. Fires will start immediately, and that not only risks life and property, but it also is an increased cost to taxpayers ultimately. So I hope people are very mindful of the drought situation we have. Thanks.
Dallas?
I've been contacted by some of our employees that would like to have a raise. I guess we'll discuss that in June sometime. I just don't want to see people leaving here for a couple dollars an hour and going to work for other counties, which I think is other counties are trying to hire some of our people. So, hope we can check that out and accommodate our employees. Thank you.
I have nothing.
Oh, I need to be verbose because Dallas needs to go somewhere and I just can't allow that. Nope, I don't have anything, so we will